Hi guys, it's Grace, and today I'm doing the 2025 mid-year book freakout tag. I'm a little late once again. Regardless, it is one of my favorite videos to film every single year because it's a good checking in point about where I'm at with my reading list and where I'm headed for the rest of the year. Today is August 11th and I finished 66 books this year, which means I'm actually ahead of schedule for once. I graduated with a Master of Fine Arts in May. I have more free time now, and I've also just been craving books. So without further ado, we're gonna jump into the mid-year book freakout tag. Number one is, what is the best book you've read so far? And for this one, I'm going with Babel by R.F. Kuang. This book was stunning. I think R.F. Kuang just has this masterful way with words, and this story explored so much in just one book. If I could rate it a 6 out of 5 stars, I would. Question number 2 is, what is the best sequel you've read so far this year? And for this one, I have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I flew through this book. I listened to it on an audiobook because I was still in school at that time, but I've been craving a physical reread of this book, so that might have to happen sometime this fall. Number 3 is, what is a new release I haven't read yet? I'm really excited to read Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, the new Hunger Games book. I guarantee I will be finishing that before the end of 2025. Number 4, what's the biggest disappointment of the year so far? For this one, it's no hate against the book. I really still did enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. And that's Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I love all of Emily Henry's books that I've read so far, and I was really expecting a lot out of this one, but to me it just felt rushed and like it didn't meet its true potential and didn't stretch quite as far as some of her other books, so I was a little bit let down by it, but overall I think I did still give it a 4 out of 5 stars, so it was still a fun read, just not quite as good as I had hoped. Number 5, what's the biggest surprise of the year? This one is The Lonely Hearts Book Club by Lucy Gilmore. It seems to be a trend that I find some random book in a little free library that ends up really surprising me in the best way possible, and this was another one of those. It follows this young woman who's a librarian, and she ends up meeting this grumpy old man through work and ends up starting a book club with him and with a few other people. And it's one of those stories, it honestly reminded me a little bit of like a Frederick Backman book because it just explored human relationships and some of the beautiful things that happen when we let ourselves explore relationships that we may not have been drawn to initially. Number 6, who is a newest favorite author for this year? And for this one, I have Emily Rath. I actually found her on TikTok because of some of her political videos, and when I read what some of her books were about, I just had to pick them up. They sounded so fun. In particular, I found her hockey series. It was really fun to read. Number 7 is, who's a new favorite character? And for this one, I'm just going to pick a book that has many new favorite characters, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I have been dying to pick this book up for years, and after grad school, I was like, yep, this is the first one I'm picking up. Give me a giant book. I am so excited. And I ended up falling in love with the characters in this book. I fell in love with the world. I love Ede in this series. I love Tane. Queen Sabran really grew on me. There are just so many well-rounded, amazing characters in this book, and the world building was phenomenal. Number 8 is, who is your new fictional crush? And for this one, I have Daniel from Part of Your World. He is a total golden retriever, which is one of my favorite types of men in books. I've been wanting to try an Abby Jimenez book for a really long time, and I had to pick this one up after reading the synopsis. It's the definition of city girl goes to the country, learns to love herself in this tiny town. Okay, sorry, this is gonna be my only double mention in the video, but number 9, a book that made me cry. I have to mention Babel again. I marked up this book a ton while I was reading it, and I was also reading the end of this on my flight back from Los Angeles, and I was crying next to a stranger. I feel like this has to take the cake for a book that made me cry. Like, I was like ugly crying, trying to do so quietly. The ending of this wrenched my heart out and stomped on it. Number 10, what is a book that made me happy? And for this one, I have Attached at the Hip by Christine Riccio, our very own booktuber. It just made me laugh. It made me smile. It was so funny. I forget how she explained it, but It's basically like a reality TV show. It's two people that end up attached together and then they get like voted off the island and stuff. And it was just so funny and so much fun to read. Number 11 is what is the most beautiful book you have received or purchased? And for this one, I have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This was also up there on my best books of 2025 so far. I am a huge V.E. Schwab fan in general, and this is actually one of my favorite books she's written. It was just so much fun to read. I think I finished it in like 2 or 3 days, so I absolutely flew through this book. And look at how stunning! This is another book of the month book. The random page I opened up to, the line I had underlined was, "We need less than we think. Desire and necessity are different things," which, while I was moving, let me tell you, I wished I was more of a minimalist. Finally, number 12, what is on your TBR for the rest of the year? As always, I have a whole bunch. I'm actually very proud of myself though. I made it through a very large chunk of my TBR before I moved. I moved out of Minnesota, which is where I was going to grad school, and back into my hometown area, which is where my job is based. And before I moved, I sent about 40 books to little free libraries around town, which was just so satisfying and so much fun. But I still have this whole top shelf of unread books, and the bottom shelf is also unread. So I still do have quite a few books to get to, but it's much more manageable. My current read is Nobody Knows My Name by James Baldwin. I'm liking it so far. Some other big ones on my TBR, I'm listening to the audiobook of the third book in the Red Queen series right now. I'm really excited about getting around to the Chain of Gold trilogy. This has been on my bookshelf all throughout grad school, and I am really excited to finally get around to it. I have a couple books from Milkweed Editions that I picked up at AWP, a writing conference. First, we have The Last Language by Jennifer Dubois. I'll just read like the first paragraph of the synopsis here. In 2001, a few months after the death of her husband, Angela is devastated when she's ejected from the graduate program in linguistics at Harvard University. Soon after, she suffers a miscarriage. Spinning and raw, the young widow and her 4-year-old child move into her mother's house. Trained with an understanding of spoken language as the essential foundation of thought, Angela finds underpaid work at The Center, a fledgling organization utilizing an experimental therapy aimed at helping non-speaking patients with motor impairments. And then it sounds like she develops a relationship with a patient named Sam, and things kind of go on from there. I'm intrigued because one sentence in here says, as Angela tells her story from prison in the form of an unrepentant plea, we are drawn into a Nabokovian hall of mirrors, which just sounds interesting. The other Milkweed Editions book I have is Painting Beyond Walls by David Rhodes. This cover is stunning. I got it last year and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Let me just read the first paragraph here. It's 2027. August Helm is 30 years old. A biochemist working in a lab at the University of Chicago, he's swept off his feet by the beautiful Amanda Clark. Animated by August's consuming desire, their relationship quickly becomes intimate. But when he stumbles across a liaison between the director of his lab and a much younger student, his position is eliminated and his world upended. So he goes to visit his parents in the heart of Wisconsin's Driftless area, which is where I'm from. Kind of cool. And then it sounds like he kind of reconnects with some people there. It sounds fun. So anyway, those are just a few of the books on my TBR. There's a lot more. I think that's it for the 2025 mid-year book freakout tag. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment below what you've been reading in 2025 and how your reading goal is coming along. And subscribe to my channel so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Now that I'm graduated and moved and have my bookshelf back up and set up, I'll hopefully get back on a regular upload schedule. I know I've kind of been missing in action these past couple of years, so hopefully I can get back on track now that I'm done with school and have a little more free time on my hands. I'll see you guys next time.